Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters, episode 108, a Koalacast, a tradition we haven't done in a while, where we talk about whatever we want. And today we have a special guest with us.
Hi.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. Did I flub the introduction? I'm Dmitry. Hi.
No.
Hello.
That's perfect.
Pleasure. Yeah.
And we also, and we also have Hotshot with us. How's it going, Hotshot?
Why did you bring me here again?
Because you co-host.
That's fair. Hi, guys.
So, today on the podcast, we're going to be having an open conversation about whatever anime topics we desire. And we have a special guest with us. Dmitry, how long has it taken for me to convince you to come on this podcast? Because it's been a while. I've had this idea to have you on here for at least a year, right?
About a year and a half.
And what made you decide to come on and what's anime to you? Why are you on the show, bro?
Goodness of my heart. I'm just such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Hi.
You are.
Jaden has a very simple principle.
What's
Hi, I'm Jaden. Would you like to be on my podcast? And he will ask you until you decide to be on his podcast.
Yeah, I've seen it in action.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dimitri's a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for over a decade. We went to high school together. Very good friend. And you have a very interesting taste in anime. One I would say is abstract, would I say? Because all the shows you bring up to me are shows I haven't really heard of. I can only think of one show we have in common. So what animes are you into? Like what shows stand up to you? Like genres, anything. I'd love to get into that.
I guess for a bit
Something
of...
Jaden doesn't watch, I'm into.
I guess for a bit of context, I grew up with a dad who would watch me watching Dragon Ball Z for a while, and he was making a lot of fun of it, just because of it being Dragon Ball Z in general. What's not to hate about it? It's kind of a funny show, beyond the veil. But then his ironic enjoyment of it turned sincere, and he'd be watching along with me, and then he was the one who'd be like torrenting assorted scraps from Japan that were getting translated in the early scenes in the 2000s. And then while he was getting into it, my tastes only split off once I was like maybe 15, 16, I guess about like 5-6 years later. And from there, yeah, it's like you said, I was into more left field and unique looking stuff because I guess I was kind of pretentious my whole life. And so I would turn to particular classics, but I think maybe about 5 years back, I really latched onto the work of Masaki Yuasa, who's an excellent director who's worked on a lot of stuff. And I would wind up recommending most of his catalog to people I know.
Could you list any of the shows from his catalog?
Oh, for sure.
I know nothing about directors or actors.
The first of his I saw, I think it must have been 2014. I was 3 years late to the release of Tatami Galaxy, which is a wonderful anime, very well done. Yuasa is a guy with a very particular touch who makes, he doesn't draw your typical like anime figures. He plays fast and loose with proportions. He just makes stuff go wild and plays with perspective a lot. I'm selling him short, but Tatami Galaxy, for instance, he worked on another strange pet project before that called Kaiba, which I watched right after. What else has he done? He wound up directing a pretty curious Netflix-produced anime, which was Devilman Crybaby.
Okay, I've at least passed by that one.
Yeah,
that one is the most familiar so far.
His career spans a lot of crap. I think he even got to do like one of those guest episodes for the that like season of Adventure Time where they just had a bunch of guest animators, if I'm not mistaken. Yuasa's good for it. He's on the money. What can I say? Look him up. You can't go wrong if you watch... What is it called again? Mind Game, which I think is everyone's favorite by him from, I think, 2004. He's been in the game a long time, like way back in the 80s and 90s too, I think. He was working as a keyframes guy for a couple of works. And Mind Game, I think, was his big breakout hit, and you can really see why when you watch it. Big fan of Mind Game.
What's Mind Game about? Like, if you had to sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences, what's it about?
Like 2/3 of it, I couldn't really sum it up for you. 2/3 of it is inside of a whale. If you want to talk about like Jungian archetypes and crap. That's how good it is, though.
Okay.
Like, Mind Game is mind-blowingly really good, and conceptually, it isn't about something in particular. It's just Yuasa laying bare a lot of the themes he likes to work with, I suppose, like the magnanimity of life itself. If you watch Tatami Galaxy, I think some of the similar themes resonate, although Tatami Galaxy was based off of I think one of those like Japanese novel series by somebody, so it adapted from a book in particular.
Honestly, when you said 2/3 of it take place inside of a whale, sold. I'm in. Let's do that.
It's a comfortable whale. It's a good vibe in there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Pinocchio lasted a while in a whale, so maybe there's something to it that we're missing.
I was looking over his career on this website I had found because I was watching some other anime this year called Wonder Egg Priority, which I was also a big fan of recently. The guy directing that was a total amateur, but the animation was great. All the small staff he hired did a great job. And the people who are obsessed with him, and I think with animation in general, Sakuga Blog or Sakuga Buru, it's a very impressive website because these people, they care about the directors, they care about like the specific keyframe animators and storyboard artists for various scenes, down to the point where they can point out exactly who worked on which cut. Like, these are people with a precise eye for animation. I think Sakuga is like the Japanese word for moving pictures, literally.
Huh. How do you come to find out all these different shows? Is it really because you just follow this particular director's creations? You're like, oh, I like one, so I'm just going to watch the next one and the next one?
No, I came across Sakuga kind of by accident. I recommend it to anybody listening in to check out Sakuga Buru. It's really an impressive site. But I found that quite by accident because there were people writing like paragraphs upon paragraphs about Wonder Egg Priority when it had just come out in, I think, January, February, March, sometime around there. And the reason I saw that is all I do is I just check the newest trailers on my anime list and just appraise them all for how bad I find them until something catches my eye. And that's it. I don't have any other trick. I'm as much of a tasteless sucker as anybody else, I think.
Fair enough.
I've just been lucky.
No, for sure. Just really quick on my anime list, I downloaded the mobile version of that. I have it on my phone, and they will literally send me notifications of stuff that like might catch my my interest based on what I watched before. So I actually enjoyed that particularly. There's a bunch of shows they've recommended me recently. Most of them are just season 2s or season 3s of stuff I previously watched. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of branching out into new stuff. And I don't know, Tatami Galaxy seems really cool. I really like the art I'm seeing here. I read the quick blurb on Wikipedia, and all of these that you just suggested are pretty short shows. Like Tatami Galaxy, 11 episodes. Kaiba is 12 episodes. Devilman Crybaby is what, like 10 episodes?
Right, your standard season's length. Yeah, I do like single season runs of things. I'm not down for like adapted manga continuity crap where I have to watch somebody evolve for about 5 years or whatever just because of the way that it was written before it was adapted to animation. So
told, I am kind of a fan of that if it depends on the show. Like, don't get me wrong, when it comes to like single season stuff, like just a quick in, quick out, like that kind of thing I'm into. But like long running show, maybe not so much on the fact of like the how true it is to the manga or anything. But like some long running shows I'll still watch. Like I love Fairy Tail, I love One Piece, I love Naruto. I'd hate Boruto, but I love Naruto, so we'll stay on the good. But there's a lot more like single season shows that I watch, and none of which Jaden will ever pick up.
Well,
no, because go ahead. Sorry, Dmitry.
The trouble with these multi-season ones is like the animation quality dips a lot too. And the amount of filler that has to get made also, and not to mention generally you have to work with like this one guy's writing on like something that might be more or less open-ended.
I'm just like not that hard to please, like at all. You throw me like a thing I like and I'm like, cool, got it, in it.
Yeah, my dad wound up developing a pretty particular taste himself. I might have to air him out on the podcast for you guys.
I'm curious.
This is a story I kind of love to hate to tell, but
go ahead, please.
He's kind of a weeb, yeah. just a little bit in his own right. He
Look, he was a Cinderella weave. He started making fun of it, and then he fell for it.
Yeah. And this was before people were inventing terms for that crap too, yeah. But he's got a pretty good working knowledge of Japanese now, and I won't speak to like what this means about him psychologically, but he's only watching like the most basic as possible slice of life shit, turn off your brain, watch like high school girls learn how to, you know, go camping or play frisbee or like ride bicycles. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen those?
That's Hotshot. That's Hotshot. That is literally Hotshot.
Yeah.
That is what he watches. That's all he does. That's it.
So you and my dad have,
that's his island.
Have a lot in common in that way.
Look, I'm comfortable with what I like. It's fine.
Yeah. No pressure.
Oh, none. None, right, Hotshot? No pressure.
Says the one who keeps making bets for me to watch shows that he wants me to watch.
We have this thing on the podcast where Hotshot and I will always recommend shows to each other, you know? I'll be like, oh, I think this would be cool. This would be cool. And to be fair, I definitely feel like I've watched more shows that Hotshot's recommended me than Hotshot's watched shows that I recommended him. You know what I mean?
Have you thought about keeping count?
Yeah, we've tried keeping count, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I don't know. What do you think about that, Hotshot? Personally, like, let's have this conversation a little bit.
I'm the counselor for your little grievances.
We're not keeping count. Because, I mean, I only have like 2 in the back of my head that or 3 that I have in the back of my head that you suggest I watch. And I have started to watch them. And one I finished. And that was because it was on the bet. And that was, that one was Terran Resonance. And then the other 2, Great Teacher Onozuka and Bloodsea. And out of those 3, the only one that I'm actually really enjoying is Bloodsea. But I still just got to go back and watch it.
Why Bloodsea in particular?
I don't know. I guess it's just because of the fact that I'm a gore hound. So I love like violent battles and like large amounts of blood and swordplay and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also Jaden already showed me like one of the finale scenes with a giant murderous bunny blending people. And I love that scene. Everyone else says, this is the most fucked up shit ever. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't wait to get to it.
What was it called again?
It's Bloodsea. Like another thing that I'm really into, like I love comedy-based anime and like especially if it's dirty humor anime. So Jane suggested that I watch Great Teacher Onozuka, and I tried that for a bit, and I just wasn't getting into it like at all. Like,
I understand that.
Weird.
I understand why.
Yeah, but it was
like
just,
you like
it,
recent
hit all
stuff,
the points.
You know? I said like, well, tell me if I'm wrong, but the big thing with Great Teacher Onozuka is it's too retro for you. You know, you enjoy better animation, not that quality. You know, you enjoy more recent stuff that's better animated, that doesn't have that 80s, 90s aesthetic.
I feel like that is a big part of it, yeah, and I'm ashamed to admit that because there are some older shows that I grew up with that I'll still go back and watch. Like I'll still go back and watch like the original Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon or like for Astro Boy and Speed Racer, like ones that came out like way before Great Teacher Onozuka, and I'll still go back and watch those. So I don't exactly know the 100% reason why GTO just kind of fell flat with me.
Yeah, it's curious. It looks like a real quality product to me. Gotta say,
it hits
GTO
it hits all the points that like typically
classic.
I like though. Like I like dirty humor. I like comedy. I like it. It is essentially a harem one, and it's strong in the comedy. But I'm just not feeling this.
The animation on it looks all right anyway, from what I'm seeing right now. From just looking it up.
Let's see.
No, Great Teacher.
Great Teacher. Yeah, okay.
A lot of
Great Teacher has pretty alright innovation.
Yeah, they had a lot of great keyframe guys back in the day.
When
like,
it comes,
Gainax was active around the same time when they're making Evangelion, for instance, or when they had that other thing, that one like romance manga that got the adaptation, His and Hers Circumstances. Like even from there, you can tell like very particular guys were starting to really get into their work. This one guy, Imaishi, went on to do a ton of shit for Trigger too, and his own independent stuff was really cool.
Trigger, honestly, like that's the only animation studio that I know by name, and I love their style and I love their shit. I love Kill la Kill. I love Panty and Stocking. And unfortunately, I still have yet to see this. I want to watch Promare. Like, I even have access to it and everything. I can watch it whenever I want. I just haven't yet. But I'm still really upset at you about that, Jaden. When it was playing in theaters and we had planned to do an episode, I'm like, can we please postpone? No, I need you here now.
I forget what the circumstances were.
I forget what the exact circumstances were. I just know that it was like I think we only had it in dub for the theater for like a day because we only had it for a weekend. So we had it for sub and we had it for dub. And so I'm a dub watcher. I will admit that. So when I heard about it, I asked you if we could postpone, but I think like you were super busy that week and that was like the only week that you had free to record or something. So I had to sacrifice watching it so we could do the episode.
But have you watched it since or not?
I haven't watched it since, no.
Oh.
So really, I have no reason to yell. But it's also the fact that I miss seeing it like in a movie theater. You know what I mean? Because like it's kind of rare.
I understand the experience is way different.
Movies in movie theaters. Like now.
No, I understand.
Like right now, we're playing Demon
Slayer.
Demon Slayer right now in the theater. Yeah, thank you. And that's actually getting extended just because of how well it's being.
Oh man, I've seen it all over the place right now. I want to talk about it a little bit, but go ahead.
We might jump a little bit into it, like Demon Slayer, like especially since the movie came out. I actually have been getting more and more curious about the show. It's been one that I've been like, yeah, maybe I'll check in on it a little bit. But now, like seeing like the fans come into the theater and like they're some of them like in cosplay or some of them just like wearing merch of the show and everything else. I'm like, maybe I should actually get in on this. Like I did the same thing with Broly when it came out. Like Broly, I wanted to go in and see anyway because it was still Dragon Ball, and even though I hadn't watched Super at that point, I still wanted to see it. So went and saw it, and then after that, I actually started watching Super.
For sure. Like the thing with Demon Slayer, I watched it last year. I started working at the studio, and this guy recommended it to me. He's like, "Oh, just watch Demon Slayer." From the get-go, it goes hard, and I watched the first like 8 episodes in one evening because of how good it was. And then I was watching the Crunchyroll Awards like a few months ago, and then I saw that it was mentioned that Demon Slayer won Anime of the Year last year. I think for the 2019 Crunchyroll Awards, and at that point I had finished Demon Slayer, and it's such a good anime. It just goes so hard, so fast. It's always action-packed. It's basically this brother and this sister, and in the first episode, the sister becomes a demon, but she's different from other demons is all the only way I'll put it. And their bond and the adventures they go through and the action they go through, the battles, everything is super great about it. And the other thing I want to mention,
because the only thing that I really know about Demon Slayer is I know about Nezuko becoming a demon, and
that's like episode 1
and the guy becoming a demon slayer. But it's basically like I'll kill all these other demons, but I'm protecting my sister because I know there's other demon slayers that want to kill Nezuko because she's a demon.
Yeah, have you seen anything about Demon Slayer, Dmitry? Has it ever piqued your interest?
No, I'm out of the loop.
Okay, fair enough. The other real quick thing I wanted to mention about Demon Slayer, the movie, I saw this article saying that the movie got leaked on the PlayStation Store for like maybe an hour or something, and like a bunch of people just downloaded it, and now they have like free access to it because of that. I was like, how does that even happen? But anyways, enough about the Demon Slayer.
I think it happened just because I actually haven't thought about it. Because Demon Slayer was supposed to only be like a week-long event, and that would be it. So I think it actually got pulled from the store because the week in the theater got extended to a longer period. So I think it was actually planned to release on the PlayStation Store and digital services at the end of that week. But since it extended, they're like, oh shit, nope. We were planning ahead, but we didn't plan for this. We
were talking about animes that you might watch later on. Hotshot, Dmitry, I really want you to see your thoughts on Blood Sea, on gore type animes. I really enjoy Blood Sea, and the thing with Blood Sea is that it has a prequel and a sequel, a very good show. Personally, it goes from Blood Plus to Blood Sea to the Blood Sea movie, and it basically follows this samurai warrior called Saya, and she's trained in the art of the sword. And long story short, the concept is human versus elder barons. Elder barons are creatures that kill humans. They could be I
don't know if I need like a description of like characters and their power levels and whether or not they have a sword or not.
Under 9,000 power levels.
Right. I just need to know if the animation's any good. Usually, if the animation's all right, I'll give it a peek. Usually, that's my first call. But like hearing shit like they have to fight blood barons and like this is a samurai who's like got a talking sword or whatever the fuck, like those are like usually huge red flags for me.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, why?
Just doesn't sound terribly like, I don't know, it doesn't sound terribly interesting if it's like wallowing in kind of like tropes like that, I guess. Or where I have to
Fair
like
enough.
worry about which character is the most powerful or not, or like weird hypotheticals like that. Yeah, it's just all about the animation for me.
Fair.
It's got to have that nice transcendent quality. And then on top of all that, the writing's got to be pretty top notch too. I'm too picky. Maybe.
100%.
The thing that makes it or breaks it for shows for me, and again, I'm incredibly easy to please, so I'm not the best guy to ask on this. But for me, it's as long as I fall in love with like at least one of the characters, then I'll probably stick with the show. Like or like sometimes even if I don't fall in love with the characters, but I fall in love with the world, then I'll keep watching it. Like I watch Pokemon for the world because I love the idea of Pokemon and seeing like all the different creatures and stuff like that. I watch High School DxD, one, because I'm into dirty stuff. We all know this.
You got a wife?
Two, because I fell in love with Rias.
Is that the waifu?
That's one of the waifu ones. Yeah, I'm a heavy waifu watcher, to be honest.
Oh dear, you got to stick to just one. You got to be faithful.
I mean, if they don't know, then
no, but she's real, dude. She's gonna find out.
I know, but again,
women are very perceptive.
They don't know.
You got to be careful with that shit.
Look, I have a different alias for every waifu, okay?
I'm sure.
I need like 68 passports.
Right. You've got H Ginger, as well as Hotshot G, maybe.
Then HSG, then Hot HG. I'm running out of names here, guys. Help me.
How did this become a conversation?
You're about to be running out of wives.
That will never happen.
Oh my god!
Hear the intro to our last episode. You'll know that didn't happen.
Oh my gosh! I wanted to get into one of the animes that you and I both watched, Dmitry. I know for a fact that you really enjoy this one, and I don't know if Hotshot will enjoy it, but I am curious to talk about it with you. What are your thoughts on the anime, and if you could maybe intro it a little bit for others, because it is an older one. Serial Experiment Lane is one that you recommended to me, and I loved it.
A bit of warning, I have not seen Lane in quite a few years now, so and only once, actually. I just gave it to you on a lark, but I did like it, it's true.
Yeah.
Lane, I think, is an anime that was the first to kind of like have interesting ideas about technology and the idea of the internet as a place or like a realm, long before what occurred in Lane started sort of transpiring in part in the real world. The protagonist is a young girl who is kind of sheepish and winds up getting a computer, which kind of both bolsters her identity and kind of makes her sort of dissolve and makes the whole plot and everything occurring around her dissolve too. Like, it's sort of nonsensical to some degree, but at the same time, the one thing that's always ramping up is the degree to which Lane, the protagonist, is online or in the wired, as they say in the show. And so it was very prescient and wound up being like the predictor for, I don't know, just a lot of stuff, I guess. Like, I don't think we'd have VR chat, for instance, if we didn't have Lane. I don't think we'd have, I don't know, particular kinds of web pages if we didn't have Lane.
I honestly watched it twice, and I'm still confused about the story. It is so trippy, and I feel like the fact that the word experiment is in the title of the anime, like, it's the most perfect way to describe this anime. It feels so experimental to me. It goes from sweet moments to extremely bizarre moments. The music is so bizarre. Lane as a character, I just can't wrap my mind around. I've even tried going on, like, there's a subreddit for this anime. I try to go there. I try to find read
that's
articles
dangerous,
about it.
because like You're probably gonna be
It's
surrounded by a
weird,
lot
bro.
of pretension.
Oh, it's such a weird one. I don't know. Like, she starts out like as someone who's like scared of like technology, right? Like we can agree that she doesn't even own a phone or anything, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a thing. Yeah, and it grows into this cyberpunk psychological thriller, and you're like, what's going on with this girl? Is this still even a girl, or is it like the internet? You know what I mean? Is it like a technological thing? It really like creeped me out, but I watched it a second time with my old roommate just because I was like, I'm not the only one who doesn't understand this. And on the second rewatch, my roommate who watched it the first time with me told me, no, I don't get this. I don't understand it. I don't know. Any thoughts on this, Hotshot?
I kind of got into the idea of like the internet being like its own place and everything like that, but then everything after that just kind of like mushed into my brain. So I think it was just kind of those ones that I'm just like, okay, sounds interesting. Wait, what's happening?
That's kind of what happens when you watch it too. I wouldn't
like
sweat it.
Okay.
And like even like the episode titles for this anime are so bizarre. It's like episode 1, weird. Episode 2, girls. Episode 3, psyche. You know, episode 5 is called distortion. You know, and like from episode 6 to episode 10, unless Wikipedia is throwing me off, they're all in caps. The description of the titles of the episodes. I don't know. This anime is extremely bizarre. I want more like this, honestly. I want to watch more stuff like this. Part of me really enjoyed Zankyou no Terror because which is my favorite anime. Because they resembled Experiment Lane in the sense that psychologically it kept me thinking the entire time. I had no idea what to expect next, you know, for completely different reasons.
Yeah, but completely different reasons. That's for sure.
Provoked my brain, but it kept me like thinking. It kept me on my toes. I was like, "What's going on? Why is this like?" You know,
I don't know if having your brain on is a prerequisite for making a comparison between those two. But if you do want something kind of similar from around the same time,
yeah,
the studio Madhouse had released, I think, Boogie Pop Phantom, which is a pretty interesting show.
Boogie Pop Phantom? What's that about?
It's another one of those shows where the kind of like the actual linear structure of the narrative takes a huge back seat to just, you know, dark vibes, if you wanted to put it that way. But
dark vibes only.
Yeah, dark vibes only, babe. That's my new Tinder profile. Anyway,
dark vibes only.
If I remember the structure, basically, Boogie Pop Phantom has to deal with like kind of like a weird metaphysical version of ghosts or evil spirits that are haunting some big city, as of yet unnamed, somewhere in Japan. And the stories kind of follow kind of like your classic horror schlock, kind of like Junji Ito style little episodic arrangements where it's like, what if there was this kind of freak? Okay, now what if there was that kind, right? Can you imagine this kind of guy? And so usually each episode only fixates on one or two of these sad, weird, kind of haunted cases. And the thing stringing them all together is, I think, their would-be exorcist, the Boogie Pop from the title. It's a good show, and stylistically it's very similar to Lane. Like down to...
I'm looking into it.
I don't think the staff is even all that similar, but they wound up having... very similar kind of like appearances, styles. I can't speak to who worked on Boogie Pop or who worked on Lane either.
Dmitry, what if I told you there's a 2019 version of this anime?
Yeah, I watched a bit of that. What was it called again? Boogie Pop. Do you have the name?
I'm saying Boogie Pop and the Others and Others.
Oh, right.
Is what?
Yeah, I got like 2-3 episodes into it. It just really wasn't the same.
It's not the dark vibes you wanted? It's
from a new era, and it has like different things it wants to say or like different ways it wants to go. And on top of that, I don't know, it just didn't draw me in as much. It didn't... It didn't burn as slow, I guess. It was trying to get straight to the meat.
That's the thing I was telling Hotshot. We made this one podcast a year or two ago where we were trying convincing to watch, you know, and I was trying to convince him to watch Boruto. The long story, one of the arguments I presented was that I feel like anime has become much faster in recent years, in like the last 2 decades, like in the 2020s, 2010s. one of the example I brought up is that the amount of arcs in Boruto at this point, we're nearing episode 200 and we have easily 20 different arcs, you know, and Naruto had maybe 5 or 6 arcs at this point. I feel like we cut very quickly to the meat as quickly as possible because anime watchers' attention spans have decreased severely. I mean, we literally have skip intro, next episode on Netflix, just so it's like we're binging. We're just getting straight into this next. I mean, you can literally watch. Are you still watching? And you can literally watch on Netflix like in 1.5 speed. And I have a friend who watches their anime in 1.5 speed, which I don't even understand. I mean, I only do that for podcasts personally. I don't know. What's your opinion on the? Have you noticed that trend, Dmitry? Have you noticed?
I'm kind of detached from it all. I just pirate shit and watch it at the regular speed. I'm not catching the same offering as the kind of people with Netflix accounts.
Fair, but what about in terms of like Boogie Pop? You know, the 2019 version. Would you not say it's faster than the previous one, or not?
Yeah, I only remember like 2-3 episodes. I have a vague picture of it in my head. I'm sure it was fine, all things considered. Maybe it just didn't strike me, but I don't think it was a symptom of what you're describing, taste-wise.
Fair enough.
I think if somebody wants to watch something fast that cuts to the heart of the action, I don't know if anime as a whole has particularly leaned towards that direction or not.
Very fair. Let's talk about favorite shows or favorite genres at the moment. What about, I don't know about you, Hotshot. I know you obviously like all the pervier stuff, but is there a series you've been currently eyeing or considering to watch?
Well, like I said, I've been kind of eyeing up Demon Slayer a lot more lately, especially with the movie out and everything. But lately, I've kind of been falling from newer stuff that anime has been coming out with, and just like focusing on like more so on my game aspects and stuff like that, and just trying to piece stuff like that up. Like me and Kyo actually just fell down a nostalgic hole of watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle incarnations, and we've been watching like through all of those. Like we've taken a step away from anime, it seems like. But the one that I've been going back and forth, like whether like a will I will I kind of thing, is definitely Demon Slayer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I highly recommend it. I've watched it and I think it's
no, I know, like even
fantastic.
Even people that like have been coming to the movie, like if they seem nice enough, I'll say like, I really need to actually watch them. Like, yeah, you do. It's really good. Like, I've been getting that constantly at the theater. And then I have friends like you that have seen it and say that's really good and ask me to watch it and stuff like that. I haven't heard anything bad about it.
No, it's really fantastic. I obviously watched the series before the movie because the series leads up to the movie. It's kind of like No Game No Life. No Game No Life had one season and then they jumped into a movie. Blood Sea as well. They had the season, then they jumped into a movie. Which I'm noticing now that I talk about it, I feel like a lot of anime series are doing that. You know, they do like a season
jumping into movies.
Instead, which is really cool. I don't know about you guys. I like that idea.
Yeah, but then other animes are jumping into live action adaptations like Death Note 2.
Oh my god. Dmitry,
I'm not getting into it. I just wanted to bring it up
very quickly.
I saw a post.
Oh, I had a funny thought about that recently, actually. This high schooler, right, who's apparently like some sort of straight A student. He gets like this Death Note, and he picks it up and he starts killing. Like, who does he start killing? He starts killing people who are in the prison system, right?
He starts out with a burglary.
You know,
yeah.
This is where I think Jaian and I have disagreed before, in a sense. But what about like ExxonMobil CEOs or long-standing banking families or dictators or, gosh, I don't know. Well, what about like
if you had a Death Note?
What about like war profiteers, right? Like guys who run
your question
private
is,
militaries or something.
No, but your question is, what would you do if you had a Death Note? That's what you're asking.
And I guess
right?
what I'm saying is that the main character had a very limited view of what he should have been doing with the Death Note, as far as like a guy who wants to stop evil is going, right? He could just burn through the whole Fortune 500. You ask me. I think that'd be pretty funny. I think it would have been a more entertaining show too. But
then why don't you make that show?
I guess
Call
that's the fatal flaw is that he was just sort of like a little pissy, sociopathic dweeb.
I think Hotshot can relate with you not liking Death Note, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about anime that I've really enjoyed over the last few months, Dmitry. I love, and we've even made like several podcasts about this. Studio Ghibli films. I love anything that Ghibli has made. I don't know about you, but have you dabbled a little bit into the Ghibli universe?
Yeah, I've enjoyed plenty of Ghiblis, you know, the classics. Princess Mononoke and the like. Spirited Away, I'm still a fan of.
For sure.
But the last Ghibli I saw was like maybe 3-4 years ago now. It was when The Wind Rises had come out, and I found that one all right. It's kind of funny seeing Werner Herzog do a cameo in the dub.
I haven't seen that one, The Wind Rises.
Yeah, the one about making planes for Japan in World War II, or the guy who was making them, which is kind of a funny
I'll be honest,
topic choice.
I hear Studio Ghibli and planes, and I think Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
So what did you want to bring up, Jaian?
I wanted to bring up, I'm sorry, but I am, Spirited Away will always be a classic that I really loved. I watched it. Actually, technically, it's one of the very first animes that I watched. I completely forgot that I watched it. And then for my birthday last year, when we were in quarantine, I decided to rewatch it, to just watch an anime movie. I told myself, oh, you know, Spirited Away sounds really good. I fired it up on Netflix, and like halfway through, I'm like, I've seen this.
Oh,
I know these characters. I know how it ends.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it's kind of special that you can have anime jog childhood classics. You know, I remember being in France in a movie theater with you know, the kindergartners, or maybe I was in grade 1, you know, very young me watching that movie, and I absolutely loved it, and I think it definitely shaped my love for anime.
Oh, it's
some of the best.
good, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was my first Ghibli movie.
I watched this one anime that Netflix recommended to me. Absolutely garbage, but I want to talk about it anyways.
Well, yeah.
Netflix was like, "Hey, bro, you're gonna love this thing called The Way of the House Husband." And I'm like, "Okay, let's see
I read
what this
that
is about."
actually,
Dude,
funny.
so bad. It's so bad. It's basically like what, like a mobster or an old gangster.
Yeah.
And he jumps and he becomes a house husband.
Yeah.
And he finds a passion for like cooking.
Yeah.
And the episodes are like 15 minutes long, and it's just like, but there's like 5 episodes in one sitting. You know, in 15 minutes you might have 5 actual episodes.
It's like adapted from a comedy, isn't it?
From a manga. Like it literally feels like it's jumping off the papers into your face. Like it's so ridiculous, the situations that occur. He's out grocery shopping, and then these just 2, you know, basic hey, I think you're that mobster from 20 years ago. He's like, oh no, and he runs away, and then he gets in a fight with them, and then he gets home in time to cook for his wife. You know, like really like basic plots like that.
And you didn't like it.
I definitely no, it's
No?
like too basic for me. It was too basic for me.
Oh,
But you've read it?
Yeah, I've read it. I read it when it was serialized. I thought it was pretty funny. The art was very good, and on top of that, yeah, the whole thing was just a cute little ride. I liked it. I liked his encounter with the Roomba that they had in the house.
Oh my god. What about the wait?
I don't have the
Roomba?
best
Was it the
memory,
same-
so try not to jog it too hard, but overall, pretty
Yeah,
good.
the-
Congratulations on the adaptation to Netflix. I heard it was like a weird like motion manga thing, though.
It really is a weird
Like
motion
it's not
manga
like
thing.
a perfect
it's
adaptation. You might be better off just like
No.
reading it and not bother with
Fair
that.
enough. There was one episode where he turns on a vacuum that cleans his apartment, and what ends up happening is just a vacuum just destroys the entire apartment. And then he's like, "Oh no, I have to clean everything." And he gets like wine on his shirt and stuff, and he's like trying to like catch the vacuum with a knife or something. And then his wife walks in, and you just see him with like wine all over his shirt and a knife, and he's like, "Dinner's ready," you know, like just stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a comedy. I think stupid stuff happens as a matter of principle. I don't know what you were expecting.
I like stupid stuff. Stupid makes me laugh. Where do you think I got my sense of humor? It's all stupid. All of my humor is stupid.
All of your humor is stupid humor.
I have no highbrow stuff. I have no like sophisticated humor. No, I like fart and burp jokes. So take that for what you will.
You might like that House Husband show.
I'm
not that it has like
looking
a
for it
particular
right now,
amount of
I'm not gonna
farts in
lie.
it. It's very appealing.
Actually, okay, just because I actually am on Netflix right now, because I was actually looking for it. One that I actually watched recently was Lupin the Third.
The new one, the CGI
Castro.
one, or the one of the older ones?
One of the older ones. It was the castle of
Go on, try to pronounce it.
Cagliostro.
You got this, Hotshot. Cagliostro, I believe.
It was a castle of that.
Yeah.
And Kyo actually,
I've seen this.
Kyo actually brought it up, and me and him watched it not too long ago together, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It was amazing.
It's a great franchise.
So much so that like I said, me and Kyo went to see Mortal Kombat the other day, and one of the it was a quick blur, but it was the CG Lupin that was coming in, like it was in like the preview sections or something like that, right? And I'm like, oh shit, Lupin Third, I actually gotta check that out, because I totally forgot that was gonna be a thing. But now that I actually know who Lupin Third is, I'm like, yeah, I gotta check this out.
It's all right. It's like a lot of the early stuff is where it shines, just because it's using up all the characters the way they were meant to be, and having these kind of like wacky scenarios play out, and then on top of all that, animating them with the same kind of like liveliness that they always had, except in 3D. It's it falls apart in the later half when like the plot has to get going, and by then it's just sort of like another bog standard kind of like, it feels like another like if Indiana Jones had even worse writing by the time Crystal Skull came out.
Damn,
it's
brutal.
nothing. Yeah, it's nothing crazy in the writing, and there's a twist that I almost feel like spoiling it, but there's a lovely twist involving.
I don't mind,
and it's really silly.
But like I said, the most important thing for me to fall in love with the show, or movie at least, is falling in love with at least one of the characters. And in Castle of whatever the fuck, I fell in love with Wolf, and I fell in love with most of the other characters.
Well, yeah, they've got decades of decent writing behind them, or like kind of character building, I suppose.
Look, we all got to build our start from somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to also mention the 5th season of My Hero is currently airing, and I'm loving it.
Damn it!
Took me like 3
fell
episodes
up behind again. God damn it!
The first 3 episodes were a bit of like, okay, come on, get into it, and now episodes 4 and 5, good stuff. So I'm very happy with what's occurring right now. So if you're watching My Hero, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A great anime that I know Dmitry will never, ever watch.
No, probably not. You lost me at 5th season.
I lost you at My Hero. Come on, because I feel like I've brought it up to you before, and you just.
Yeah, I've seen clips. It's not my thing. Yeah,
that's not your thing.
I can understand.
I like to know, what about the superhero genre in general? Like what about like an anime like One Punch Man? Would that even cross your mind?
Shonen stuff in general, or?
Yeah, no, like superhero shonen stuff. Yeah, like the more fun-loving.
Fun-loving?
Yeah, it's more of a happy-go-lucky, humoristic, with a spice of adventure and action.
I mean, again, it's not like the genre definition that I'm looking out for in particular. It's just, that kind of stuff tends to have, I suppose, worse writing or like animation that I'm not interested in seeing all the time, because they're usually reserving like the decent stuff for like some last episode when, One Punch Man finally does a punch or something, and it's like, whoa, look at the amount of work that went into making sure that punch looked good, and having to bear with like very, very kind of like plain middle brow kind of humor to see it. I wasn't very convinced. I imagine if I watched Boku no Hero Academia, it would be the same thing. Like, I'm not interested in watching a young boy with like dreams bigger than his head become strong enough to achieve them, and like have to face trials and tribulations just because like it writes itself inside my brain.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
but
you're literally describing Naruto.
Punch, though.
Yeah, that one punch, though, right? Dmitry? No, maybe? Yeah.
I don't know, man. I could just watch a GIF of that later if I wanted.
It's funny how the most infuriating part about One Punch Man, at least to me, was the fucking mosquito. And I'm not even talking about the villain. I mean the actual mosquito.
That he couldn't squash?
Yeah. And he can literally break anything else in one punch.
Yeah.
It's life, man.
I know.
Doctors Google their like cold symptoms all the time, and they have a PhD in medicine.
Yeah, you got a point.
I mean, everyone has their own limitations.
Yeah. I mean, superhero stuff like Hero Academia and One Punch Man, stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that I go to. Just like just because like I grew up around like superheroes and stuff like that, so it's what I fell in love with. It's what I honestly what I base kind of my entire persona around is like superhero stuff.
No, I completely understand that.
You got a power.
So
have you been working?
Yeah,
working
I got
on
power.
it. Have you been?
I got wings.
Have you been doing push-ups and shit?
No, I just sprouted wings.
Cool.
Yeah, I got the easy way out. I just have it. There you go. There we go.
I can fly. Haha. I'm done here.
Honestly, yeah, just like whenever I get into conversation, just my wings start flapping like, okay, I'm out. Bye.
Exactly. That's exactly what
and
occurs.
no one can catch me.
I want to talk about as well. I finished Tower of God, which is a great adventure anime. I strongly recommend. It was recommended to me by ACR, another guest we've had previously on the podcast, and I do feel like it would be one of those animes that Dmitry kind of described that writes itself because, you know, he's got dreams bigger than his head. There's a little twist of romance. It's got some good action and some cool challenges that the heroes face. But at the end of it is a linear thing. It literally climbed the tower, you know? So I recommend it if you like just, you know, having a good time with action and adventure-based animes.
Yeah, I love a good tower.
So, yeah, a good
Climbing
tower is always fun.
occasionally.
With a good old final boss, you know. All right, I'm good on all the topics I wanted to bring up. I had one last one I want to bring up with you really quickly, Hotshot, but it's a 2-second thing. Did you guys have anything else you kind of wanted to talk about? Maybe like one recommendation, Dmitry, to the people.
Yeah,
you know,
I mentioned it early
what's
on.
a bizarre
but
one?
I'll be quick, but just Wonder Egg Priority. The OVA is coming out in June or July, so you can catch up before it all finishes. It's good. It's a little on the nose, but the animation is beautiful. The small team working on it has shown no dip in quality throughout the whole run. Yeah, it's a great work.
That's awesome.
That's me.
All right, cool. Hotshot, a little recommendations for the folks. We never really do Koalacast, so, you know, it's going to be your last recommendation for a little while.
I recommend Nekopara.
Okay, why?
You think I'm kidding, but I'm not.
No, please.
It's just an incredibly simple slice of life Neko story. It comes based off of a visual novel series, and honestly, I'm suggesting it because one, I fell in love with the characters, and
you fell in love with the
visual
with
novel.
these characters from Nekopara.
Do what? Sorry.
You fell in love with these characters from Nekopara.
I did. Like I said, I'm not incredibly hard to please, but I fell in love with the Neko girls, and maybe not so much the main character, just the Neko girls. And I also fell in love with there's a YouTube channel I watch that goes over the entire series with VTubers, and they'll actually just like voice over the visual novel, like give their own voice, their own spin, their own comedic tone to it, that kind of thing. And I've been watching through that because I've been diving more into the VTuber community. So that also brought up the actual anime itself.
It sounds like a very deep hole.
I actually almost started watching it before we started recording.
Fair enough. I'm gonna stick with Tower of God for mine. I really think it's a fantastic one. I described it earlier. All right, before we say goodbye to the folks, I really want to pick your brain on this very quickly, Hotshot. Blake versus Mikasa is the upcoming and might be already out by the time this podcast is out. Death Battle. It's the latest anime one that they're working on. I'm always hyped up when they do anime ones. So we talked about it a little bit off podcast, but I want a quick prediction for you. Who do you think is gonna win and why?
My heart says Blake, but again, it's I told you this off podcast too. The only reason that I'm saying my heart says, but I can't give it a definitive answer, like reason and everything, is because I'm so far behind on Attack on Titan and so far behind on Ruby that I have no idea the new skills that either of these characters have developed throughout like their run. But I know I like Ruby more, and I know I like Blake more than Mikasa, so I really want Blake to win.
Is there like a betting
Fair
ring?
enough.
Can you bet money?
No, just
who's gonna win this so-called battle?
Because it's a death battle. It's not because it's just like, oh yeah, well this one's gonna win because da da da. Especially because like I have no reasoning or anything behind mine. I'm just
you guys don't get in on
who
the
I
action.
want to win.
Okay.
We don't get into betting over death battle. No, we bet over other stuff, but not death battle.
I mean, we haven't done a bet in a long time, Hotshot, to be fair.
Sounds like a business
Yeah, and I'm
opportunity.
not doing it now.
No, I know. You lost once. You don't want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Dmitry, you want to bet on this?
No, I'm all right. Keeping my money
No, it's a
close
bet with
today.
me because you know you're gonna lose. No,
I'm a huge folder.
Jay,
Yeah.
you bet with you. You bet with you.
I bet but in all seriousness, my prediction, I think Mikasa is going to take this. I've seen her in action. I'm obviously biased towards her. I've only seen the first season of Ruby. I'm sure Blake gets way better, but Mikasa has done some big damage on like big Titan. Like Titans that are controlled by humans, you know what I mean? I forget the proper term for them, but they are vicious, destructive beings, and I don't think Blake can take a big Titan like that. Obviously, because it's specialized, but it's gonna be a great battle nonetheless. So that battle, you nailed it with this one. You definitely nailed it with this one. So let's wrap things up. Dmitry, do you want to let people know where you are, or plug your Twitch or your Twitter, whatever you want to promote? Please feel free to do so.
I got nothing to promote, but I want to say a quick hello to the realm, and I'll leave it at that.
Hello to the realm. Okay.
Right. Hello to the realm.
All right. Hi, realm. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for tuning in, realm.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. All right. And Hotshot, you've been doing a lot of streaming recently. Plug that away, please.
I have. All right, guys. If you don't know, like I've let the Discord know, I've let Jaden know, I've let my Twitter know. But if you guys don't know, I actually have started streaming. I've been doing gameplay stuff over on Twitch at Hotshot Ginger. I'm starting my way down a VTuber route. I'm trying to become a VTuber, getting a model and all that. Right now, I just have my avatar. So be nice to me. I've just started, but come over, say hi, we'll hang out. You guys can also find me over on Twitter and I actually changed it now. It's not Caution. You guys can actually find me at Hotshot Ginger on Twitter now. And you guys can find me Hotshot Ginger right here on YouTube, on my channel, and you find me right here on JaianMusic's channel doing anime podcasters, because even though I keep taking up my own projects now, Jaden won't let me leave.
Okay, the thing though that I just noticed with you changing your Twitter, all the links in every single description I've ever made of anime podcasters is not linked to your Twitter. So
who's going through the backlog?
Not me.
I don't know. Some people do go through the backlog. We do get views on the old episodes. I promise you that. So what I recommend you do, Hotshot, is make an account with your old and just say, this is an old account. Please follow this one and link it to Hotshot Ginger. That's my genuine advice.
Social media hustle mentality. Look at that.
That might be a good idea.
He just gave you that one for free.
I didn't even think about that.
I got you, bro. I got you. Like I said, like Hotshot's like getting his toes in the content creator realm and in the socials. I will help you swim, my friend. I will help you swim.
That's beautiful.
All right. Yeah. For the podcast, you can follow us at Anime Podcasters on Facebook. All of the video episodes are hosted there natively, so you can stream them there. We are on all major podcasting platforms. You can give us a 5-star review on ratethispodcast.com/anime podcasters. You can leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/anime podcasters. For myself, I am at JaianMusic on social media, and you can find everything about me, my audio, my music, my anime covers, my Lunatic Rappers, Chip Machine, all the other stuff I do on JaianMusic.com. And most important of all, we have a beautiful artist who does all of the artwork for Anime Podcasters. He does all of the thumbnails, all of the character illustrations, all of the text. So go check out at GoProKyo. I hope he didn't change his handle on me. He's linked in the description. He's available for commissions and does beautiful artwork at very affordable rates. So go check him out. He's fantastic. And finally, a big thank you to you, Dmitry. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here, and you're welcome whenever you'd like. Please let us know who you would like to have next on the podcast. I will hunt them down until they say yes, because that is what I do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. So for myself, and Dmitry, and Hotshot, and everybody else at Anime Podcasters, this has been another episode of
The Anime Podcasters. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.